Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation, where right and left come to be reasonable. You want a clear example of why our politics are poo-poo? Witnessed the bombast surrounding the bombing in Iran. First, the facts. What do we know? The U.S. planes and pilots dropped what they wanted, where they wanted, and the exit was without loss. Did the bombing succeed? Depends on what you wanted. The pilots certainly did what they were told to do. They succeeded. Nobody has said otherwise. Did the bombings stop Iran from getting a nuke? Permanently? I don't know that that was ever the objective. We certainly don't know that. So is that failure? And again, I would say no, because not even Trump, said we would know that we had destroyed everything for sure immediately. We do know there was a ceasefire immediately afterwards, with the regime basically doing nothing in retaliation and agreeing to stop attacking Israel. And it has held with both sides more so than not so far. So why is the unknown all of a sudden a problem? How is it grounds for impeachment? Why is the president saying the U.S. obliterated the regime's program? The answer to each and all of those questions is the same: the BS game of party extremism that has poisoned our politics. The left, through its most popular member, AOC, came out of the box calling for another Trump impeachment, even though she had no intelligence attached to her assessment. Right after the strikes, despite them leading to a ceasefire, despite there being a 100% chance that any impeachment effort would fail. Why? It's just another extreme move to please the base of the Mirror MAGA movement in her now defunct party. Then came more proof of wanting it to be a failure: the leaked preliminary Pentagon analysis, which said the nuclear sites were not obliterated, but they were severely damaged. First, why wouldn't severe damage be a success? And why would anyone report what was believed with mere low confidence after the whole dossier debacle? Just to play gotcha. That's why. Then it was on, with President Trump, despite being president, never missing a chance to take the bait. Okay? So what did he do? He was demanding leak investigations, which are only called for when a side doesn't benefit from a leak. Same with condemning anonymous sources, right? Then he had the Secretary of Defense take it much lower, a new level of low, but also a reminder. Listen to this.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. What's really happening is you're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots and incredible F-35 pilots and incredible refuelers and incredible air defenders who accomplished their mission.
Now that part is BS. The first part, I'll give him, it's a matter of perspective. He shouldn't throw everybody in the same bucket, but that's his choice. The second part is BS, okay? Nobody has said anything about the troops not doing what they needed to do, the pilots, the refuelers, the staff, any of them. Nobody. That is BS, and I'll tell you why I'm sensitive to it. Clearly, I think pushing the unknown as a negative is wrong, and that the media shouldn't do it, right? And clearly I haven't done it here, right? Trump shouldn't say obliterated when he didn't know and when that's not true. So that's what I'm doing here. So I don't see myself as the part of the problem here. But this bothers me. I've lived this before. Asking whether the program was destroyed is not disrespectful of the troops. And I would argue that using the troops as cover against criticism is disrespectful, and also a naked attempt to have the public turn on the press. Now, before you say, oh, that's a little dramatic, I've seen this movie before. Somebody told them to try this, that it would work, okay? And that is exactly what it was about. Listen to this.
These baseless attacks send the wrong signal to our troops and to an enemy that is questioning America's will. As our troops fight a ruthless enemy determined to destroy our way of life.
A lot of you don't remember that. A lot of you are too young to remember that. But I lived it, and it was effective, okay? And let me tell you something. That yellow cake, uranium, existed in Iraq was BS. Congress then voted on a war because of that intelligence. And it was not where 9/11 originated. The murderers were almost all Saudi, and we went into Iraq and then Afghanistan for years and decades and lost countless treasure and so much blood, and so many men and women were wrecked forever, and Iraq and Afghanistan are the same or worse than when we first went. And Congress would never again own a military move, allowing presidents, red and blue, to do whatever the hell they want. The media has plenty of flaws, but we are also the ones who join troops in theater, in the worst of situations. And journalists get hurt, and they get damaged emotionally, and they die, and they go because they believe in the job, and they believe in the patriotism of being there with the men and women who are protecting our freedoms. And I know that because that's why I have done it. I am not a war correspondent. I have no business being in a war zone, let alone unarmed. And I have done it time and again because I know it matters and because I want to justify the sacrifice of the men and women who are there putting their lives on the line and often protecting mine. So I don't need to hear some Secretary of Defense tell me that asking questions about a known unknown is somehow trying to damn the men and women who put their lives on the line. It is professional, if not patriotic, to question the BS when yellow cake is being sold to go to war in a place that did not cause 9/11. And it's not wrong to do it here. And by the way, questioning the effectiveness of the recent bombing in Iran is nowhere near the same level of professional responsibility and importance that the yellow cake was in avoiding a war, okay? But I'm just saying that's where they got the move, and it worked. The public went bad on the media, so we stopped reporting it. I lived it. I was at ABC News at the time. There is certainly no motive to hurt the troops. I would argue, though, he is right. There is some motive to hurt Trump. But guess what? If it's all about just the media, then why did Trump ass kisser number one, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, say the same thing? Listen.
Where we're at. The program was obliterated at those three sites, but they still have ambitions. I don't know where the 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium exists, but it wasn't part of the target set. I don't want people to think that the site wasn't severely damaged or obliterated. It was. But having said that, I don't want people to think the problem is over, because it's not.
All right, so that's why you question it, because you don't know what the state of the uranium enrichment program is. And it's good that they're sharing intelligence that the bombing had effect in slowing it down, at least. This is all good. Questioning the unknown is not wrong. Playing gotcha with the unknown is wrong. And yes, that happens too. Okay? Now, the ceasefire should qualify as a success, at least while it holds. And while we await more information about our leading enemy's ability to have a weapon that they would certainly use to destroy us, you don't have to be in it to own the left or to own the right. That's all we're seeing in this situation. You just have to be reasonable, okay? Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.